let's start off with the cheers. Boys?
Yo, welcome to the 3 a.m. podcast where we tell scary stories. I'm really excited for this episode. My name is DJ.
My name's Charlie.
And my name is Sean.
Okay, so
Also, shout out to Made Ceramics. They made us mugs. She's a potter. Is that what you call them? Is that like your official title?
That sounds right.
I'm a potter. Anyway, she's a potter, and she made us these sweet 3 a.m. mugs.
They're pretty dope.
Yep. So shout out Made Ceramics. Go look her up on IG.
I love them. I love them. I've been wanting to get a really cool mug for a while and start a collection. So,
Bro, you already
Kicking it
there
off.
now, dude.
guys, we ready for question time?
Hell yeah, brother.
So we posted again on Instagram today asking all of you what questions you had for 3 a.m. To kick us off, though, we do want to briefly cover one of the questions. This is from Janny Pants. I know you probably said this already, but I missed it. How do y'all know each other?
Nice.
First, I've been loving these questions.
Yeah, they've been
refreshing.
fun.
Yeah.
Because we sit here sometimes and we're like,
Anyone got a question?
have you guys, so it's really nice not to have to do extra work.
Sean and I met 10 years ago.
Yeah, dude.
We lived in the Philippines.
Yep. And then after the Philippines, I moved in with Jordan, and Charlie was already living there. So I met Charlie through Jordan.
Jordan and Charlie grew up together in California.
Yep.
And then I moved back to the States from the Philippines and started hanging out with all of them. So we also met Jordan in the Philippines.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
Yep, I grew up with Jordan. The three of them met in the Philippines. DJ and I really met each other because we were both separately DJing at the time in Utah. And Jordan knew both of us, and he's like, hey, my other friend DJs, maybe we should meet up. So we met up. We talked about classic hip-hop for a while, and
Classic-
then it was like, all right, we're friends.
classic hip hop, scary stories, and Simon and Garfunkel
Yeah, I remember that.
connected me and Charles. Sean helped us to, I think we were all interested in the outdoors, but Sean is like really pioneered that. So
And then we all loved scary stories and all bonded over that.
I actually found a video of us that could arguably be our first 3 a.m. recording.
What, dude?
When we went down to Canaraville near St. George, Utah,
okay.
and we hiked these crazy slot canyons and waterfalls.
Yeah.
We had a party of about 12 people.
This was like 4 years ago.
And after we did the canyon, we all went back to Kevin's grandma's house where she had this huge basement we were all sleeping in. And all 12 of us were sitting around. We're like, what do we do? We're like, all right, let's tell some scary stories. So you told your classic one of the Filipino.
The Nanay,
Yeah.
who's possessed
Oh, yeah.
with the two missionaries. She knew their names.
Yeah. And yeah, we all went around and shared some stories. I recorded it.
That's cool.
So I was watching that today.
Like on video or
My GoPro. I
voice
just turned it
recording?
on and set it down. somewhere.
Okay. Oh, okay. No, yeah.
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 And Becca told her story.
We have a friend named Becca, and she told her story there and in Hawaii.
Yeah.
A few years ago when we all went to Hawaii, she was living there and she met up with us. I had forgotten the story, but I remember being scared. And she told the story, before she started telling the story while we were in Hawaii, we're all in my house. We had a long day of hiking and the beach and good food, so we're tired. We're packed in.
We're all laying in the one room with air conditioning.
Yeah.
Just like 7 people on the bed and 6 more all on the floor.
Yeah, my little brother's room. And it was nighttime, it was dark, and we are all bundled up. And Becca prefaces her story with, this might not be very good.
Yeah.
And then proceeds to tell the scariest story I've heard in my entire life.
Bro, it was crappy.
So I have, again, forgotten the story. Not because it was bad, but it's just been a long time since, and we are on episode 51 right now. So we've gone through hundreds of stories by this point. So trying to get in contact with her again to either tell us or have her on here for 3 p.m. or something.
She's been elusive.
I know she has been. She has been. So we'll get that story. It's a good one.
Cool.
I remember all of us trembling in fear. But that's how we all met. Sorry, we just went on a tangent.
We all met. We were like super young, 20s. We had like barely any, responsibilities. We were running around being hooligans for like 4 or 5 years. We all lived together.
Staying up till 3 a.m.
Literally every day.
No, yeah. There was when I first started hanging out with them, I was getting used to their schedule and way of life. And it was common to be staying up till sunrise every day, 6 a.m. every day, waking up at early afternoon, 2 or 3. That's not early afternoon. That's afternoon.
I never woke up after 12. That was someone else.
Yeah, that was someone else. But yeah, that was our life, and
It was exploring abandoned stuff, telling scary stories,
hanging out with friends,
DJing.
DJing a lot, and yeah,
Bro, good times.
Good times.
those were fun.
Yeah, dude. Okay, a couple other questions here. Somebody asked, wasn't Jordan supposed to come visit?
Bro,
Yeah.
who asked that?
Did Jordan ask that? Yeah. Yeah, you was, bro.
Yeah, he was.
Sick,
we had
dude.
where did we go? My girlfriend invited all of us over, Charlie's wife and a couple other friends, to her family's farm, and they have a bunch of animals. And we went on a bike ride earlier that day, food, just hanging out. And Jordan was supposed to come over. I texted him. I was like, dude, are you coming? He's like, no, but man, it sounds so great. It sounds like a perfect weekend.
Yeah, you could be here.
Okay.
All right. Got another one from Aiden._.hatch.
Huh. Who's that?
What are some of your favorite songs to blast in the car?
Ooh.
Sean.
Recently, I've been on a folk music kick and have been blasting John Denver in the car. Just country road, any song. So good.
There was a time we went to Jackson Hole, Wyoming, and we were camping, and we did a whitewater raft. And by the time you're pretty zapped, you've been out in the sun all day, you've been stroking it so hard, you know, in the white waters. And we get on a bus, and everyone's just quiet, and we're driving, and then the bus driver put on Country Road, John Denver. And we were all just, by the end of the song, we were all just singing at the top of our lungs.
Strangers as well. Like,
Yeah, it was full of just random
Strangers
people.
No More.
Oh, whoa. But yeah, we were just going through the beautiful roads of Wyoming, listening to it and just singing. And it was like, I was
Everyone
like,
on
this
the
is
bus,
a movie.
dude.
I'm in a movie right now. This is beautiful.
Just turn into a musical.
Yeah.
United We Stand.
Yeah.
I think all of us have been on a folk kick today. Usually it's either the most obscure sounding electronic music or just ignorant hip hop. Everything's like, you've seen Vines or TikToks where there's like distorted bass. Like it's usually like supposed to be like a funny skit or something, but that's like half our life. Like just listening to that type of music. It's dumb.
You know how kids with ADHD take Ritalin to calm down? And like a normal person, Ritalin would like make their heart rate go up or whatever. For some reason, music that should be played at like sacrifices or
I love
the
listening.
killing of people like just calms me so much. It's so weird.
Same. Like I need music that makes me want to break the law.
Just helps you
consistently.
focus and
Yeah.
kind of bring it in.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, dude. It's my Ritalin.
All right. We got one from Blonde Emily Rose. What is the best OG Pokemon?
Alakazam.
Okay.
So many scenarios. The first one that comes to my mind is Arcanine
Dude, I love Darknine. It was dope.
or Dragonite.
Okay. Dude, I just liked Squirtle, Wartortle, and Blastoise.
Who did you pick in your?
I picked Squirtle.
I was always Squirtle.
Yeah.
Always Squirtle.
Hey.
First time I ever bought a booster pack of Pokemon cards. My friend's mom took me and him to the mall. We went in, we bought it. This is the first time I bought it, and it came with 15 cards or whatever. Open it up, and like the 5th card in is a holographic Blastoise.
Damn.
And I knew in my heart I was destined to be water tribe. Water forever. Everything.
Water everything. Water bender.
There you go.
That's good. I had to trade to get a holofoil Blastoise. I traded a lot.
Dude, that was one of the best parts though. So
I think Pokemon cards, now that I think about it, it's the first time that I was really into like artwork. And you might think it's stupid because it's a cartoon, but it's still like a piece of
art.
Like somebody drew that. It's an illustration. So I remember just loving looking at the colors and where the Pokemon lived in the card and whatnot, you know?
You want to know how dumb I am?
What's
in
up?
4th grade, Alex M was like, bro, did you know that Pokemon are real? And I was like, wait, what? And he's like, yeah, like in big cities like New York, Pokemon are real. And I was like, what? That is wild.
They are.
Yeah, I was like, damn, that's crazy. I probably believed that for like 6 more years or something. That's so stupid. My
That's
first
so funny.
artwork I liked was Pogs, bro.
Pogs are cool.
Big old slammers, dude, with
Yeah.
like a skull on it.
Yeah. Dude, Pogs is a 90s trademark for sure. But I like that question.
Yeah.
We're,
That's a good
we're
question.
Gen 1 Pokemoners.
Yeah.
Yeah,
dude.
Gen 1 or nothing. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah. Okay, from Jordan Stiles, what is your favorite thing that you own and why?
What do you got? You have one already?
This has become more difficult for me over the last little bit because I got a bike for Black Friday for myself and I freaking love it. I just going biking.
It's a dope bike.
Yeah, dude, it's so sick.
And with the weather getting warmer, it's perfect.
Just
time.
gonna zoom off on my bike, do bicycle things, dude.
My favorite thing that I own, my record collection, probably.
Dope.
If I had to pick a specific record, I have Kendrick Lamar's Damn, and he signed it.
Ooh.
So I have it framed.
Kung Fu Kenny.
That's probably, like, there are other records I like more, but that's just
That's dope.
Yeah,
Kendrick
dude.
signed it.
My favorite thing I own is probably my laptop. Because of it, I've been able to have an income for the last 5 years and then create a ton of stuff.
There you go.
So, like, without it, my life would be drastically different. But my second one, because, like, whatever, is actually my water bottle.
Oh my god.
And the reason I got this is someone bought it for one of our friend's little sisters as a joke.
Not sponsored, by the way.
Yeah. Bought it for her as a joke. And she was like, I don't want this 64-ounce freaking hydro flask. And was going to throw it away. And I was like, I'll take it. And she's like, are you serious? It's huge. And I was like, yeah, give it to me, please.
Child size.
And they gave it to me. So I drink like 4 of these a day. It's like always with me. I love it so much. Keeps my water cold. Right now, promo code 3 a.m. I wish.
Charlie is a real hydro bro,
Sick. dude.
previously known as a water.
But shout out Catherine and Starla.
for that hydro.
Yeah, for my favorite
I
thing.
see you,
My
dude.
favorite ting.
I fully agree and fully disagree with the laptop.
Let's hear it. Oh.
Because my laptop has given me my career as well, but is dead.
DJ's laptop couldn't run like Minesweeper right now.
I couldn't play the old school like 3D pinball.
Yeah. It'd be 2D.
Yeah. Or
no.
yeah.
No. You get 2 dimensions.
Yeah.
Okay, 2 more.
Sure.
From Basic Target Mom. If you had to live through any of the stories from the podcast that you've told, which would it be? And I'm also going to add in there that you didn't already live through, if that's one that is a personal story.
Probably the most traumatizing one.
Get it out the way.
Yeah. I can do hard things.
Is there anyone where they had a successful career and health insurance? And a large income? I'll take that one.
A house.
Yeah.
Leah Hardy
Oh.
with her mom
Oh, just
running out into the
being
darkness
bad, eh?
with the shotgun.
That's pretty hardcore.
And before she runs out, she says, "We can't afford to be scared." I'm trying to get some life lessons.
Yeah,
in
for
there.
real.
But
That's a good one.
yeah, dude.
No, I was going to say Probably Muddy Buddy Cave. That's probably too mean.
I'll be the brother.
My friend.
Oh, I gotta go. Sorry.
Recently, I would have liked to live through the Fear l'Amour because that would have meant that I actually got to go to Scotland instead of having my flights canceled.
Something travel centric. Yeah.
Nice. I don't know. Any one of them besides demons or rednecks.
Something with a cryptid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something with the actual like
Doesn't end in you getting wrecked, though.
monster. Yeah.
I would love, it's actually been a lifelong dream to see Bigfoot. When I used to go on like road trips as like a 5, 6, 7-year-old, I would just stare out the window and be like, maybe I'll see him. Maybe I'll see him.
That's me now.
Same.
So yeah, definitely one with a cryptid. I want to see one, but I don't want it to touch me.
Like, I think you're cool, but I respect your distance.
You stay there.
Yeah.
Okay, last one from Retro Staticrad.
What's up, Retro?
Where is a really scary place that you've gone or would like to go and visit?
Scariest places I've been, I've talked about them before. The foothills near Visalia, California. There's a place out there called Three Cross where the KKK regularly meet and burn crosses. There's a place where there was a massacre of school children by Native Americans, and you can supposedly see the spirits of children there. There is an abandoned barn out there, a graveyard, and Peacock Mansion. It is very creepy, and even if it's not like creepy by ghosts, there's meth heads running around and racist people. So
One of the spookiest places I've been is Superstition Mountain in Arizona. All the crazy stuff that goes on there. Like nothing happened, but like the thought of the things that had happened, aka the Apaches killing people, prospectors killing each other, all in search of the lost Dutchman's treasure. I would also like to go back there and find that GD treasure. Change my life, bro.
Dutchman's treasure. Plastic. Sorry. I had to.
sorry. Sean, you've been to Ted Bundy. You've been to Ted Bundy's house.
Yeah. I didn't think it was scary though.
Yeah.
It was just kind of dumpy.
Ted Bundy lived for a while in Salt Lake City, and you can actually visit his basement. And he had like a kill cave out in the foothills you can go visit.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, I was with a girl when I was going, so I'm like trying to be brave. Just like, this ain't scurry, dude.
Tinder dates for 500. I haven't been here. I'd like to. Through the process of attaining dominion and influence, the Bohemian Grove.
Ooh, okay.
Not haunted, but very within our boundaries. The Bohemian Grove is known for gatherings of large, powerful leaders in the world.
Dignitaries, princes, presidents, past presidents, current presidents. And up until recently, relatively recently, was considered a conspiracy theory and not true. But we found out it is.
It's a good one.
Skull and Bones.
Were you going to go a bit more background?
No, that's it.
It's about an hour north of San Francisco. The world elites meet there, and what they discuss is not known, but most likely how to run the world and control all of us. And like I said, it was considered fake and conspiracy until Alex Jones. I know that's kind of a inflammatory name.
A very credible source.
But him and some other dude like went up the river and filmed the whole procession. And they filmed all of them they burn an effigy of Malik, the owl god. And they're all standing around in robes chanting at it. And he filmed all that. And I was like, see?
Definitely a strange thing to do.
Yeah, it's a little sus. It's a little strange. But yeah, that's Bohemian Grove. Look it up.
Okay. No, we got a bunch of good questions this week. I saved some. We're going to be using those over the next probably 2 weeks because there's a bunch of questions there that we didn't even get to.
Great.
But anyways.
Time to roll.
14. Roll that in your hand good.
4.
6.
So that's me, then Charles, then Sean. Okay. This story comes from Jerry.
Oh, shout out Jerry.
Jerry said that this happened 2 years ago in Virginia and is also the reason I never backpack alone anymore.
Ooh, okay.
So Jerry is in school taking a couple courses during the summer. June hits, things are really warm, and he's excited to explore Virginia, see what it has to offer. 3-day weekend's coming up, so he's looking up all these different national and state parks for him to go and explore, and he finds the one he wants, and it's on the Appalachian Trail. So he's getting really excited. He decides where he wants to go, or at least a general area, and he decides he wants to stay 3 days and 2 nights all by himself. He lets his roommates know, lets his family know where he's going to be and when he should be back. Most of the time he's out there, there's going to be no reception. So when he arrives, it's a 3-day weekend, so it's busy. There's a lot of people there. He stops at a shop on the trail that a lot of people hiking can stop at on the way. And this old man is running it. Really nice. He gets to talking with him and asks for some suggestions. And the old man says, yeah, there's actually really nice waterfall and swimming hole that you can go to. And not a lot of people know about it. It's more of like a local thing. So he's really stoked. So he decides to change up his plans a little bit and go there first. It's a little bit of a detour. He buys a map since he won't have his phone. Pays for it, says thank you to the owner of the store, and he heads out. So on the trail, he's walking, and there's a lot of people for the 3-day weekend, families, just being in nature, being outside, enjoying the warmth. And he gets closer and closer to this waterfall, and it takes him off of like the main trails. So as he gets closer, he sees less and less people. And he's excited for that because he just wanted to kind of be alone. Thankfully, the people he's met along the way are really nice. So he's feeling really good about this. And finally, later that day, he gets to the waterfall. It's a pretty cool waterfall. He thinks it's good enough for him to go swimming in. So he strips down, jumps in, cool and refreshing. And after he's done, he steps out. He starts drying off, starts putting on his clothes. While he's putting on his clothes, he feels an overwhelming sense that he's being watched. What do you do in that situation?
Well, immediately start looking around.
He looks around, he doesn't see anything.
I kind of continue as if nothing's happening, but my ears are perked. I'm listening hardcore. I almost don't want to alert them that I'm like aware. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's a good point. I don't want to give off that I'm scared. Otherwise, they already have control.
I definitely, if anytime I do get scared, it depends on where I'm at, but I try to get my back up against something. You know what I'm saying? To like
Make sure I have my shoes on, probably.
shoes first. That's good. That's smart. Tie them tight.
So that's exactly what he does. He decides to carry on. Because at that point, it's just a feeling. Nothing's really manifested itself.
And Sean and I have talked about this before, but anytime I'm out in the open and I get weird feelings, immediately I'm scanning the ground for hand-sized rocks.
Oh, yeah. Something to use as a weapon.
Yeah.
I'm going to go tonguing on their ass, bro.
Yeah. I'm looking for coconuts. He feels all right. While he's hiking, for some reason, I guess it's because he watched the movie recently, or it's been stuck in his head, but he's whistling while he's hiking. Whistle while you work. And he's whistling Chill Bill.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
Which is a fun little tune. He's whistling Chill Bill.
Sean, can you do it?
That's all I got, dude.
No, that's good. No, that's perfect.
Dude, the dopest part is...
I know. Gets all symphonic with it. But he's whistling. Even though it feels like he's being watched, it's still like really beautiful out. Sun is shining. Birds are chirping, almost like singing with him. And he's still enjoying his time, but he's a little cautious, you know. So he's just whistling, just trying to stay in his groove that he's in. He continues his hike to his campsite. He gets to the campsite. It's later in the day, and he sets up his tent, starts a fire, and he has some food that he's brought with him. He's prepared with his pack for 3 days, And as he continues setting up camp and going throughout the day, this feeling of being watched is growing on him. And it's getting to the point where he can't think of anything else. But he continues to just kind of, entertain himself, talk to himself, keep himself sane, and whistle Chill Bill. And while he's whistling and while he's making dinner over the fire, he thinks he hears a second whistle that's whistling the same tune as him.
Oh, no.
So he stops, and when he does, all the noises in the forest disappear. Birds are gone. It's almost as if he can't hear the fire either, crackling. There's no wind, there's no leaves crunching, no animals, just him and the sound of silence. And this worries him, but still nothing's manifested itself. So he carries on, and this happens multiple times where he is whistling and he hears somebody whistling too. Can't see anything, and then everything goes silent, and then everything goes back to normal, and he carries on. He ends up going to bed without incident. Feels fine.
And he's just like in a tent or something?
Yeah, he's in a tent. Still by himself. Hasn't seen anybody. Which, no news is good news. He wakes up in the morning, and what he saw made him decide that his trip was now over. That he's going to head home right now. He said that he unzipped his tent, and his entire campground was trashed. He said that his camp stool was nowhere to be found that he had by the fire. His bear bag with food was cut, not bitten, but cut with a sharp object. You might think that this is maybe an animal, but the contents, the food of the bear bag was spread all over, just trashed all around the camp, and the food wasn't touched. And lastly, footprints. All over the campground, in the mud. No shoes. Bare feet.
Damn it.
He is about 5 or 6 miles from where he started. So that shop, in the parking lot and all the families and whatnot. He didn't hear any of this commotion happening while he was sleeping. He slept right through it, which was a little more terrifying. But yeah, through that, he decided that this is it. So he starts to pack up, and he starts to pack up fast. So he's grabbing everything he can, and he's stuffing it into his bag, not caring how it's packed. He's just trying to get out as fast as possible. And while he's packing, in the trees all around him are whistles.
Oh, shit.
And they're all whistling Chill Bill. He can hear this, and he's scared to look. But while he's packing, he doesn't stop while he hears this whistling. He glances up really quick while he's packing, looks around him really fast, and he doesn't see anything. But this whistling's getting louder, and it gets to the point where it's almost in his ear, and it's deafening from what he describes. And it pisses him off. He stands up and he turns around, and he says, "Shut up! What the hell do you want?" And immediately after, he hears, "Shut up! What the hell do you want?" In his exact same voice. So he turns around, finishes the last couple things, stuffs it into his bag, and sprints back home. He makes it safely, and he tells his roommates, and they tell him, "Bro, we were excited to go camping with you this summer, but that's not going to be a thing."
We're not doing that anymore.
But that was the story of Jerry's summer in Virginia and why he doesn't go camping or backpacking alone anymore.
Ugh. Dude, I can just imagine the symphony of Chill Bill coming in around you from all of the trees. That would be so horrible.
He described it as sinister.
Ugh.
The whistling that morning, he said it was sinister. And
I don't like that.
Whenever there's an interaction of like cat and mouse or like a power, like a flex,
like getting toyed with.
Yes. And when you realize the dynamic and I don't know, that's so chilling to me.
Like my fear is somebody's enjoyment.
Yes. And they've orchestrated this to like get a maximum amount of fear out of you or show you that like you're in our game. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't know. That was a terrible way of saying it, but you know what I'm saying.
It's almost like you're just subject
Yeah.
to whoever is actually in control.
Yeah.
Feels like.
Which is creepy because it could just be, you know, a harmless joke or something way more sinister. You know what I mean?
Well, the fact that even on the second time where he told it to shut up, it repeated what he said in his same
Same voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like that.
We don't have a lot of we have a few mimic stories. So it's been a while since I've had a
And
mimic story.
I don't remember the other mimic stories terrorizing in like the toying with them either.
I remember the one with the dog in Maine.
Is that on episode 1 through 3?
No.
I don't think so.
Okay, good.
There's an episode I think called Maine, and she takes her dog out there. Her family owns a cabin. Dogs have to go and pee in the middle of the night, and they're in the bush, so it's pitch black, middle of the night. Family vacation. Everyone's sleeping. Dogs are yapping. So she's like, I'm going to take him out. And she steps out on the front porch. Can't really see anything. Dogs go out and then don't hear them. And she says, Alfie, where are you? And then she hears a voice from the forest right back. Alfie, where are you?
Freak, dude.
Nope.
I would just die myself. Like if that happened, I would almost laugh about how terrifying. I have a weird reaction when things get really bad. It just makes me laugh because it's like insanely bad. And so if that happened to me, I'd probably just start laughing because of how stupidly scary that is. And then it just laughs back at me. I'm like, no. Yikes, dude. I don't envy that.
No, definitely not.
To answer your question, that's not one of the scenarios I'd want to live in.
Ooh. Yeah. Seems there's like the Appalachians, there's just a lot of hanky panky going on.
A lot of monkey business.
Yeah. Rascals, dude.
But that's it for me.
Ooh,
Dope.
nice. Is that me?
Yes, sir.
Your story kind of reminded me of something. This person said that they were visiting their cousin who was like not a forest ranger, but she was out there to study like streams. So they were testing a lot of water and stuff like that.
Stream scientist.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. And so I think this is in like Wyoming, and this is hundreds of miles away from like large towns. They're way out there.
Lots of streams out there.
Dude, just
Streams on streams.
yeah. And so they hike out. They're testing all these stream levels and doing that. And he's just kind of watching his cousin do her thing.
Uh-huh.
And she turns to him and they're about to pack up. And she goes, hey, do you want to see something weird? And he goes, obviously intrigued.
Yeah.
Like any of us would be.
Sure.
He's like, sure. So she lifts her shirt. No, I'm just kidding. So they turn and start hiking. And they hike for like 2 more miles away, like even further, right?
Okay.
Come up into this meadow, large rocks, trees, and right in the middle of this clearing is a desk. And on top of the desk is a lamp. And she walks over to it and just turns the lamp on. And he said a cord came out the back of the lamp and into like a PVC pipe and just into the ground.
Whoa, that's wild actually. That reminds me of the stairs,
It does. But
but a more complete home.
he looked at her, she looked at him, and she was just like, I have no idea what this is. And they weren't around any building, any power source. They are 50 plus miles away from any buildings. You know what I mean?
Whoa, that's
No
wild.
answers, nothing.
I don't like that. That's weird.
That
dude.
that makes me excited more than scared.
Intrigued, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Me too.
yeah.
It's like breadcrumbs we can follow.
Cool. All right. So for me tonight, I had a lot of fun with my bonus story from last week, the Hinterkaifeck murders. And so I wanted to continue to kind of same vein and do some historic travel around the world stuff.
Cool. Hit it.
Okay.
All right. So for our first one, I'm going to take you to the Houska Castle. And that is like north of Prague, so like Eastern Europe, which to me it could possibly be one of the scariest places on the earth. Eastern Europe, Eastern Europeans. This castle was constructed in the second half of the 13th century. Super old. And this castle is weird and strange for many, many reasons. So I'm going to go over some of them. So it is a Bohemian fortress. It was built with no fortifications on the outside, which was odd for that time.
What do you mean?
All castles had some sort of defenses, right?
Like castle walls.
Thick walls.
A moat.
Possibly moats, arrow slots, things like that. Any type of like defense.
I see.
It's kind of in a terrible location to defend.
Yeah.
A lot of castles are high up on hills, so you have like natural defenses, right?
Yeah.
This one is terribly located.
It's like in a valley.
Yeah.
It's like everyone can
They
see
have the
into
lower
it.
ground. Yeah. This castle was built with no water source. This castle was built with no kitchen. This castle was built not near any trade routes.
Why the hell was this castle built?
And at the time of completion, when they finally finished it, it had no official occupants. Okay, so, like I said, it was basically built in a useless position and location.
Mm-hmm.
The weird part and the chilling part to me is, upon entering the castle, if you were to look around and if you were really to notice and take heed of the construction, you would realize that the castle is inverted.
Like upside down house?
Not quite upside down.
Inside out?
All fortifications
Are on the center.
are on the inside of the castle.
It's a prison?
So the arrow slots are made to be shooting into the castle.
Whoa.
The thick part of the walls are all on the inside of the castle. And it is because this castle is built upon a Slavo-Germanic pagan ritual site. And at the center of this castle is a hole known as the Gateway to
The
Hell.
devil's butthole.
Known as the Gateway to Hell. So in the middle of this castle, there's a hole. What legend has is so deep, no one has ever seen the bottom of it. It's a super deep hole. These grounds that it was built on is known for thousands of years to be haunted, and for this hole, like I said, to be the gateway to hell. There's been incidences and stuff throughout history of people seeing animal/human hybrids crawling out of the hole at night. They've seen dark winged figures flying around in the trees at night as well, near the hole. And so this castle was basically built to guard this hole and to keep the demons in hell. And at the time, the Bohemian king would take prisoners on death row, and he'd say, "I'll pardon you if you do something for us. We're going to lower you into the hole as far as we can. And if you tell us what you see, you're free to go." So in the beginning, a lot of prisoners took this deal. Very first prisoner, this is the story that's been told. Very first prisoner they do, tie him up to a rope, and they start lowering him down, and they see the top of his head disappear into darkness. They lower him for a little while more, and then he screams out bloody murder, as if he's being murdered. So they quickly pull him back up, and they said, right when he comes back into sight, it looked as though they pulled up a different man, because the man they pulled up looked 60 years older.
Whoa.
His hair was completely white. He had wrinkles on his face. He was old, decrepit.
That's like the well. Somebody told the story of the well.
Wasn't that you?
I think I told the story of the well. No, I don't know. I can't remember who told it.
It wasn't me.
I can't remember, but
they
it sounds
lowered him
familiar.
in and
Yeah,
they brought him right back out, and he was,
Hell's
white
old.
hair and stuff.
yeah, and he was a teenager when they lowered him.
I mean, it could spark from here. This is a super old place.
That's cool.
Yeah. It's creepy because, I don't know, it's just this creepy castle built out in the freaking forest of Prague.
Is it still there? Like you can
Yeah.
visit it today?
So I'll show you some photos.
Cool. That's the real escape room. That's the OG escape room.
So let's find a good one of the castle. This is the castle.
It's beautiful. It's in this lush green forest. Kind of looks like who is it? Lord Aaron, who's his mom? Game of Thrones.
I know what you're talking about.
They live in like the cliffside huge tower castle.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Is that the hole?
This is the gate to hell.
If you
It's a
had
beautiful hole.
the choice of your freedom, would you lower yourself in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, why not? It's that or death.
Yeah.
Go for
I'm
it.
going to rot in a cell for the rest of my life or
Yeah.
go in a hole.
Or just age 60 years, whatever. But anyway, I thought that was creepy. And when they realized they're looking at it and it's inverted, that just like gave me chills. Like these people were so convinced that evil came from here, they built a whole GD castle to like.
I was
keep
going to
it in.
say, how paranoid do you have to be to expend that much resource on the most, like, in the most useless location?
Yeah.
And yada, yada.
But it kind of reminded me of the movie The Nun.
Oh yeah, the one that could have been so much better.
I know.
I've never seen The Nun.
It's like decent until halfway. I turned it off, but
Yeah.
Sean finished it.
Wow, brave soul.
Yeah, dude.
But it is kind of like this. It's like an old monastery, like out in Prague.
Yeah,
And this guy, there's been like weird reports of disappearances. So this guy he's sent by the church to go investigate, and he goes out there, and he realizes that these nuns have been religiously like keeping a demon trapped in this castle for thousands of years.
Yeah,
And then like one of them got bored, so let it out.
something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like concept, I say good concept, poor execution.
I feel like it's almost based off this.
It could be,
because
dude.
of how like similar it feels.
Yeah.
But anyway, I was reading that today and I thought that was creepy.
That's fun. No, honestly, they should make that an escape room. No, seriously, like let people in and they're like, you have 12 hours to get out.
I like escape rooms.
Same.
I've done some all over Utah, like in 3 separate locations. I've had fun at each of them. But I went to LA once. Sean was there.
Yeah, dude.
And we did this escape room in Hollywood. And the production was so good that nothing has come close to it. So it started by us coming in. They explained the rules. We signed all of our stuff. They took our cell phones. And then they walked out with inmate getup. Like an inmate jumpsuit. And they're like, all right, everyone get in one of these. So we all get in. Then they have handcuffs.
Whoa.
Put us in handcuffs. And like all of a sudden the mood changed. The lady who was super nice like became the guard and like threw us into cells, locked the doors. And we were in like legitimate cells. It felt like
Yeah.
at one point we had to move the toilet to like get a piece of clue behind the toilet to like unlock. It was so dope.
It was really well done.
Like the production was so high. It felt like we were actually in jail. It
Dude,
was cool.
That's really awesome. The last place that I worked at, we had like a team bonding activity and everyone voted escape room. So I was excited because I also like escape rooms. And we met at a park. And I was like, why are we at a park? And we have our barbecue, we have food, everyone's hanging out. And I hear this loud, and I turn around and it's this dinky truck with a trailer in the back. And it's a portable escape room.
what?
And I was like, man, they really nailed this. Like, I don't want to be in there.
A
Some
plus.
place I actually want to escape. And escape the situation right now.
So it took us 45 minutes to get out.
Dude,
but
if you have anxiety, like every meeting is an escape room, dude.
Yeah, I don't know. It's true.
I was like, man, y'all really stiffed us on this team bonding activity. That thing probably cost like that dude was probably like, I'll pay you to get into my
let me
trailer.
do this?
Yeah.
Get into my trailer. Hilarious. All right, you ready for the next one?
Yeah.
Oh, and that last one, I got most of my stuff from someone that goes by the name of BINCH 101 and
Pinch
Binch 101
101.
and Wikipedia. So shout out Wikipedia. Donate if you can. And this next one I got from historicuk.com. So obviously we're going to the UK.
Wow.
What, dude?
All right. December 26, 1900. Captain sets sail in the northern seas north of Scotland, and he's headed to the Flannan Islands.
Flannan Islands.
Flannan. So just so you see where those are.
Some tiny little
Scroll
islands.
down on the left menu.
There they are. So, this captain sets sail. He's headed to the Flannan Islands. And these islands, just to describe them, they're pretty sparse. There's not much on them. At one point, someone built a chapel on them. Farmers would sometimes take their sheep out there to graze, but they would never stay the night because these islands were known for being haunted by spirits.
Why would you take all that time to go and take your sheep on a boat?
I don't know. But the way they put it, it sounded like it was kind of a regular thing. Like shepherds would routinely take their sheep out there, let them
Swear
graze.
the grass is good.
Yeah, I guess. Maybe they just needed to get away from it all, you know? And this island is completely uninhabited except the lighthouse keepers.
Okay.
So for years and years and years, there have been lighthouse keepers that stay, and it's usually 3 people. And they follow a pretty strict routine, and every so often when their term is up, a new crew comes. And so this captain is actually sailing there to relieve the current lighthouse keepers and introduce the new team, right? So they land on the dock, which is this stone platform and super steep steps up the side of this mountain. And instantly the captain knows there's something wrong because the team should be down there to greet them. They've been scheduled forever to do this, right? As they're walking up the steps, the captain is in front and the replacement team is behind him. Later, the replacement team would say that as they ascended the steps, a strong feeling of foreboding came over all of them, and they couldn't explain it. They get up the steps, they approach the cabin near the lighthouse. Another red flag. The door is unlocked and slightly ajar. They go in, they open the door, and immediately see 2 jackets missing from the 3 jackets. And these jackets are super important. It's super cold there. It's December, North Scotland, in the sea. And these jackets are coated for water, so they're waterproof. So you cannot leave the lighthouse without them. Or it's really ill-advised to do so. So he sees 2 of them missing. One still hanging there. Goes inside, and in the kitchen, he sees a plate of half-eaten food on the table, an overturned chair as if someone stood up quickly to leave, and the clock on the wall that has stopped working. So they search the whole premises, looking for these guys. No one. They can't find any of the lighthouse men. So they know something's wrong, something's up. They send a telegraph to the mainland, and I'll read you what they say. A dreadful accident has happened on the Flannans. The 3 keepers have disappeared from the island. On our arrival there this afternoon, no sign of life was to be seen on the island. Fired a rocket, no idea what that means, but no response was made. Managed to land more, who went up to the station, but found no keepers there. The clock was stopped, and other signs indicated that the accident must have happened about a week ago. Poor fellows, they must have been blown over the cliff, drowned trying to secure a crane or something like that. Night coming on, we could not wait to make something as to their fate. I have left Moore, MacDonald, buoy master, and 2 seamen on the island to keep the light burning until you can make arrangements. Will not return to Oban until I hear from you. I have repeated this to the wire in Muirhead in case you are not at home. I will remain at the telegraph office tonight until it closes, if you wish to wire me. Anyway, he sends his telegraph off to the mainland. They receive it. They're concerned, so they send someone over to investigate. Upon investigating the lighthouse, the first thing they realize is strange is the lighthouse log. So the lighthouse log is supposed to be left in the lighthouse, and it's supposed to be used strictly for work purposes. If any accidents happen, if they need any supplies, it should all be logged here, right? But the few days prior to the men's disappearance, they started using this log almost like a journal. And the entries go from pretty mundane day stuff to frantic, scared things at the end. So they read the log, and on the 12th of December, the second assistant at the lighthouse, he wrote, "Severe winds like the likes of which I have never seen before in 20 years." He also noted that James Ducott, the principal keeper, had been very quiet, and that the third assistant had been crying. So they talked about how a storm had come, and it was so bad, it freaked them all out. They hunkered down, and this super seasoned, he was known on the mainland as a brawler, super tough guy. It was so bad it brought him to tears. So he's bawling. On December 13th, the log states that the storm is still raging. All 3 men have been praying tirelessly through the night. they've been praying for the storm to stop and that they might make it through safe. What's weird is the lighthouse is located 150 feet above sea level, like on this cliff. So there's no, like they would know there's no real reason for them to be scared, right? And the final log entry made is on the 15th of December, and all it says is, storm ended, sea calm, God is over all.
So it seemed like things ended well,
Yeah.
Right?
like from the logs,
Yeah.
but
It sounds like they got scared because this terrible storm came, and it was so bad it like made these seasoned hard dudes crack. But by the end of it, it sounded like it was over and they were good, right?
Yeah.
So in their investigation, there's an island that's pretty close, right? They go over there and talk to the guy and says, have you seen anything? Do you see? I've seen nothing. And they talk to him about the log, and they say, well, how did you fare during the crazy storm? And he goes, there's been no storm here for like a month. So according to him, he saw no clouds, no rain, nothing over the island. And he's experienced like perfectly fine weather the whole time. So I'm just going to tell you some last clues. At the dock, there's rope that was all over the dock that's usually kept in a box.
yeah, rope box.
It's weird because the bodies should have washed up on shore if they truly were cast into the water. They've never found bodies. They've never found clues. 2 jackets were gone. 1 remained. And there's no way any of those men would have left the cottage without a jacket. There's strict rules that all 3 of them are not to go out together at the same time in case one of them is thrown overside, right? So the fact that all 3 of them left means something wrong. So they stayed there for a couple nights. They did their investigations, nothing. And the new team replaced them.
Wow.
And since then, on the island, numerous occasions, people report hearing whispers in the wind. And all the whispers say is it's calling the name of the 3 men who disappeared.
I don't like that.
That's the Flannan Islands. That's the lighthouse.
Well, that's like the movie The Lighthouse.
Bro, that movie was well done.
That was such a good movie, but an example of a good movie that I probably will never see again.
It was a little tough to follow sometimes,
Yeah.
but it was really well done.
But it's just like the island that the lighthouse.
Bro, that's what I
is
was
on.
thinking about the whole time
Yeah.
he's telling the story.
Makes them
too.
go mad.
That cabin fever, dude.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's a trippy job to have, dude.
It is just pure isolation. Keep the light burning. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah.
That's a lot of time to just get in a headspace that can be really unhealthy.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's true.
We're actually currently all watching a TV show together called Alone.
Hey.
Guys, this show is so cool.
If you
I
need
am
something to
about the
watch
show.
during, I don't want to say quarantine time, but
Season 1 and 2 is on Amazon, and then the rest of the seasons are on Hulu. And it's a game show. They throw 10 wilderness survivalists into the wilderness to survive. And they each get to bring 10 items with them. And they have like a radio to call in when they are ready to tap out. And the last one to come home gets the prize money. So it's really cool. They've been in Patagonia, which is one of the most remote places in the entire earth. They've been in Vancouver. There's an island where it's the most reported like cougar attacks in all of North America.
on Vancouver Island.
Yeah. And there's a season where they're in Mongolia. It's cool. It's cool. All of them have different backgrounds. Some people are good at trapping animals. They do that for a living. Some are hunters. Some are not experienced in that at all, but they know like their plants and their herbs really well, and they
Yeah.
survive off of berries, and it's wild. It's cool.
But what's like super awesome about it is the whole crew, the camera crew, roll up, drop them off, and then leave them completely alone. So they have their own camera. They're supposed to document everything, and these people are alone, and they sign a contract for a year in case the game goes on for a year. And like the main thing that gets people Obviously, some people leave because they get hurt. Some people leave because they, get cold exposure. But most of the time, what really gets these people is the fact that they're alone and what happens to their mental state.
Yep.
So you watch them day 1, day 2, they're just full of life and happy. Day 4, day 5, they're hungry, but it's fun.
These are people who love the outdoors.
Yeah. And then after like 30 days, all of them just have this look in their eye of like quiet desperation.
It's the last place they want to be, and it seems like it's worse for the people who have families and children.
Oh yeah,
because that's all they can think about, which is natural. But it feels like the people who are single have it that much better because they don't have to worry about taking care of their husband or their wives and their children. So
yeah, definitely a good show. A must watch.
But the effects of being alone, very interesting.
Mess with you, yeah.
So I couldn't imagine being in a lighthouse with no internet, with some 2 smelly ass dudes who you barely know. It's freezing. You're eating gruel, and you're hearing whispers in the wind.
I would rather be alone.
Yeah. Ultimate escape room, dude. But yeah, that's me tonight.
cool. Thanks, man.
Cool. Well, I got a couple stories for us tonight.
Close us out, man.
All right. My first one. The year is 1947. In the Indian Ocean, all of the ships that are sailing around Malaysia within a couple 100 miles hear an SOS signal transmitted to their ships. And it's coming from a ship called the Ourang Nedam. And the SOS signal is coming through Morse code. And it says the captain and all the officers are dead. Suspect that all of the crew is dead as well. And then it stops. And there's like all this gibberish Morse code that comes through. It doesn't mean anything. And then finally, a second code comes through. And it simply says, I die. And that's it. It's heard by all the ships that are in this area. One ship, the Silver Star, an American ship, is the first to respond to the signal.
There are coordinates. Like, they know where the signal's coming from.
Yeah, they know where the signal's coming from. Yeah. So the ship, the Silver Star, is the first on site to the Ourang Nedam. Once they get close enough to see the ship, they notice that there's really nothing wrong with it. There doesn't seem to be anything wrong with the ship. It seems to be in good condition, but they can't see any crew. Like, there's no signs of life for them to see at all. So they prep the boarding party. They pull up alongside the Ourang Nedam, and the boarding party comes on board, and what they see is horrifying. They see all of the crew out on the decks just dead. And the way they describe them is the crew is wide-eyed, open-mouthed, as if they died of fear. So they continue to search the ship, and all they find is this crew is dead all throughout the ship, wide-eyed, open mouth. They find the single dog that was on this ship also dead. Oh. But with
Not the doggo, what the hell?
Dude, whatever it was. The dog had a snarl on its face, as if it was like angry at something. And now all the crew as well, like they've already had rigor mortis set in, and so their arms, it appears like they were trying to fight something. Oh. They enter the ship, find the officers, captain, all dead, same story, and eventually find what they believe, or who they believe was the person that sent the signal, dead. They start, huh?
I die.
I die guy. He dead.
So dead he couldn't even
die guy.
he couldn't even complete his sentence.
I die.
Couldn't even get his grammar straight.
Yeah, he dead. So they keep exploring the ship. Nothing seems to be wrong with it. Eventually, the boarding party and the ship's captain of the Silver Star decide to start towing the ship into another port. Huh. So they start to hook up to the Ourang Nedam. And as they're doing this, there's a smoke that's detected coming from cargo hold 4 on the ship. And so they start abandoning ship, coming back to the Silver Star, and they unhook themselves from the Ourang Nedam. And immediately after, if not shortly after, there's an explosion heard within the ship. And allegedly, the explosion was so massive that it lifted the ship's entire hull out of the water. And as it exploded, shot up out of the water and then started to sink.
While they're there.
While
the
they're
boarding
there.
party.
No, the boarding party got off.
But they're witnessing
They're
this.
witnessing this happen. So they narrowly escape, and now the other ship, the Ourang Nedam, has started to sink. Nothing else is known. And now they cannot find, and they can't find out what happened because all the evidence is gone.
Dude, I feel like they were poisoned.
Like, if you were forced to come up with a logical explanation, it sounds like some sort of poison. CO2, something like that.
Something in the food and the water, maybe.
The dog would have had to have consumed it as well. And they would all have to do it at the same time because they all died relatively at the same time.
Or it has like a
And they weren't alerted that
Like
people
a-
were dying.
like a clock on it. So
Okay,
it takes like 48 hours to set in or something.
theories.
Okay.
So they do believe that the ship was carrying cyanide that may have leaked, which would have killed all of the crew. However, it would not have caused all of the crew to die in the manner where their eyes wide open, mouths open, just in fear, all the exact same. So that is a theory. Another theory is that this ship, which, by the way, was not found on any shipping logs,
Kind of a rogue.
kind of a rogue ship,
It's 1947.
1947.
So this is
I'd
after World War II.
I'd expect them to keep great records during that time.
Well, kind of. I mean, they kept great records in Germany. Lists, you could say, of the Schindler nature.
Oh, God.
No, but so this is post World War II.
Post World War II,
I feel like just rogue ships weren't that chill back. Everyone's kind of
it had
aware of each
actually
other.
come from Japan.
Oh, okay, I know. Okay, that makes sense.
And this ship had supposedly come from a Japanese experiment facility where they had been experimenting with biological weapons.
So all the crewmen are Japanese.
I don't know if all the crewmen are Japanese, actually.
Huh.
But theory is that whatever had been experimented with in Japan then leaked onto the ship, killing all of the crew member.
Potentially something that kills you by fear.
Something. But
Japan would come up with that.
apparently, like in this facility, they experimented with soldiers that they caught and would do stuff like have people in a circle and then drop a grenade to see what happened.
What?
So all these kinds of experiments would happen in this facility.
They'll watch the Ring tape.
Now,
I just want to go ahead and apologize for Japan's attitude and actions during World War II. Sorry, y'all. But they changed,
they change.
Now they have weeaboos. Oh, okay.
Now, one of the weirdest things to me about this story is roughly 10 years after this event happened, and this letter has recently been released to the public here in the U.S., one of the assistants within the CIA to the director of the CIA wrote a letter to potentially the director of the CIA, but the name has been redacted from this letter that was recently released, saying that they wondered if what happened on the Ourang Nedam had something to do with something from the unknown. That's in quotation marks from the letter. Something from the unknown.
And this is official CIA.
Official CIA. And they believe that what happened on the Ourang Nedam carried the secret to all of the missing ships and planes in the area.
What?
That's kind of the trippiest thing to me because it's an official letter. Names have been redacted, but someone 10 years after the fact was still exploring what had happened.
So apparently, a lot of ships that got missing in that area.
Ships and planes, you hear about that. What was it? The Malaysia flight. I don't remember which one, but went missing.
Mm-hmm.
So weird.
Yeah. But they questioned if something from the unknown had something to do with the Ourang Nedam and all of the missing ships and planes that went missing in the area.
It's weird that you said the CIA got involved because I was reading something today about conspiracy theories that were previously ludicrous, but have since been proven true. And one of them was there had always been talks that the CIA had a weapon where they could kill people in a really weird way. And everyone was like, nah, that doesn't exist at all. But then the CIA actually demonstrated it. And what it is a gun that can shoot a dart that dissolves. And then several hours later, like 24 hours later or something, the person dies of a heart attack.
Whoa.
So it looks natural.
Yeah, I was listening about that on Mysterious Universe.
Oh, really?
The heart attack gun.
Whoa.
And there's other like diseases and I guess and such that they've tried to weaponize through like a firearm.
Huh. I do know that England had a weapon where you would die of a flu, and it was the tip of an umbrella. And as they walked by, they would
would do it in an umbrella,
right?
Kingsman,
Mary Poppins. But as they walked by, they would just like touch you with the tip of their umbrella, which would inject you with a tiny bead that had some sort of something on it, and you would die of flu-like symptoms within 24 hours.
Bro, that reminds me of The Interview.
yeah, the little strip on the palm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's CIA, right? Yeah, I think so.
Huh. That's scary.
And to this day, like there's theories about what happened on the Ourang Nedam, but no one really knows.
Yeah, if that ship was being targeted for information that they had or something that they had on board, like a physical the content, it just sucks because there are so many innocent people on there.
Yeah.
So they all died in vain. Like,
Yeah.
I bet you there were people on there who didn't know what the ship was carrying, if it was.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Well, and the thing too that is weird is that the fact that it wasn't on any shipping records. So it could have been a crew of people who knew what was going on. It could have also just been wrong people, wrong place, wrong time.
You know what their telegraphs reminded me of?
Huh.
but cannot hold them for long. The ground shakes. Drums
The way is shut.
in the deep. You cannot get out.
Run.
They are coming.
They are coming. Yeah, there you go. The Mines of Moria.
The Mines of Moria Gandalf when
Yeah.
he's just like,
Bro.
the crew is dead. I am dead. Or what does he say? I am
I
die.
die.
I die.
I die.
I die.
The Mines of Moria were the I die guy.
That I die. That's so funny. Wondering if it's like tagging your homie in an Instagram meme or comment, just like at the 3 a.m. pod. LMAO.
ROFL.
I'm dead.
That is kind of chilling, though, to think that that sailor's last effort was to send a telegraph, and he's like, everyone's dying around me, and then he realizes he's dying, and to be able to just like, I don't know, he in his brain he knows he's dying, and he's just like, I gotta,
Yeah.
all I can do,
Yeah.
and just says, I die.
It's crazy because if he didn't send that, nobody would have gone looking, and they probably would not have gotten there in time
Before the
ship
explosion.
blew up and sank.
Yeah.
The ship blowing up, that's suspect.
Yeah.
So
I
maybe
thought
someone
about that
on
too.
that ship was like sent there to get rid of it. Like,
Well, yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
And it's possible. It's strange that all of the ships in the surrounding area got the message, and that the one that made it was the Silver Star ship. That also, the Silver Star was not on any records because
For sure they were covering up, bro.
the name of that ship was actually under a different name and had been purchased shortly before setting sail on that voyage.
I wonder if there's another theory. Yeah, I mean, they could be in on it. That maybe they got everybody, killed everyone, like made the ship explode, planted explosives. Or if like all the ships who didn't respawn were in on it and sent that one ship there and tried to get them to go down with the ship as well. I don't know.
Dude, yeah, there's all kinds of things that could be going
It's almost pointless because it's like we're not going to have an answers, no closure anyway. But
But if one of you knows the answers, hit us up at 3 a.m. podcast. Wait, what the?
stories
3 a.m. podcast stories at
at
gmail.com
MSN.
or go to our website or link in our our Instagram. Send us your stories, y'all.
Send us your stories. All right, now got one more.
Dope.
Once all of this quarantine is over, where would you guys like to go and travel?
Well, Sean and I and my wife and a couple other friends had already planned on going to Guatemala and Belize.
Right. Yep.
So I wouldn't mind going there. We were going to go to some Mayan ruins, go catch some beaches and foods. It's gonna be dope.
Yep. What about you, Deej?
Well, we've been talking about going to Hawaii as well.
Okay.
Hells yeah.
International? Any ideas from you?
I was like, no, Hawaii
I was like,
is part of
Hawaii
the
is
US.
international. What are you talking about? I don't know. No place in particular. I lack imagination at the moment.
I could have swore I was going to get Japan out of one of you.
And I want to go to Japan.
Sorry, those 5G waves are just suppressing my creativity.
So this story comes out of Japan from fellow travelers like ourselves from a town called Shikoku,
Ooh.
where two backpackers experience one of the most horrific nights of their life
Damn.
in an abandoned traditional Japanese home.
That's scary.
Dude.
But when did it happen?
2006?
So newish.
Pretty
yeah.
recent, yeah. And will be for all of you who are on our Patreon. So this guy and his friend are backpacking through Asia.
Dope.
And they're in Japan on an island.
Bro.
Japanese horror is scary.
Hell yeah. I've already said this before and I'll say it again. The Grudge to me is the scariest movie I've ever seen in my life. And most people say it's laughable and not scary at all. But it had such a deep effect on me and my siblings. I don't know why. Probably because my mom's half Japanese. And at night, if I saw her walking down the hall,
just square
I
up,
was
dude.
like, dude, I'm gonna jump out a GD window. It was so scary. I rode home backwards in the car because I couldn't, because we had like a Suburban, and I was like, hell, like I couldn't do it.
You couldn't look at your mom?
No, like I actually saw. Okay, so do you want to know the whole story about this?
Yes.
So I went to see The Grudge with my dad and my little sister Heather.
Yeah, this is the one with the attic.
Yes.
You shared about this.
yeah, dude.
So we went and saw it. It freaked all three of us out so thoroughly.
And how old are you and your sister?
I'm like 13. She's 11 or 12.
And your dad's like, let's go see this crazy, crazy horror movie.
Yeah, totally. But he's terrified. My little sister's terrified. She has to sit up front, and I'm in the back with just shadows and demons. So I sit backwards, like with them behind me, facing the back.
Keeper of the back seat.
And then my mom and dad aren't together, so my dad goes and drops us off at my mom's, and we're like, haha, see ya. And he has to go home to a empty house.
Yeah.
And he gets
Empty
home.
family.
Sorry. He gets home, he goes upstairs, and he flicks on his light to his closet. And he looks down, and he sees a smattering of insulation on the ground. And he's like, that's weird. Slowly looks up above him to see the attic door is ajar. And there are dusty handprints on the attic door. And insulation is kind of poking through. Almost as if someone had either just come down or went up. And my dad like slammed the door and just took off. I don't even know where he went. He probably went and got a
Stayed at a hotel for the night, yeah.
He was so scared. And he didn't tell me that for like quite a while. And I was like, oh. Because what happened was like a day before we went and saw that movie, I was outside at night and I looked up and there was an attic light on. And I was like, what the hell? So I went in my dad's closet, climbed up, went in the attic and turned the light off. And I thought I had left no trace behind. I thought it was all good, but apparently I had dirty hands. And
I thought you were playing hide and go seek and
no,
that was your hiding spot.
No, that was Aiden.
Okay,
Yeah.
No, you're right. But why was
That's
the
still-
light on?
I don't know. It had been on since the house was built. There was an attic light on.
Oh, it was on for years and then you only noticed one day and then went up.
Yeah. Because like how I saw it is like a slit in a vent and I could see a faint light on the top, and I was like, "What the hell?" So I went up there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it had gone undetected for like 2 years.
Whoa.
Yeah,
I'm trying to buy that light bulb.
yeah. Tonight was fun. I really liked it.
Yeah.
A lot of random stories.
Yeah.
Entertaining though. Anything else to add?
No, not really.
I drank goat milk this weekend out of a tea. Sean shot it into my mouth from the nipple of a goat. And someone commented on our IG and said, "Isn't goat milk full of bacteria and E. coli?"
Well,
And I was like, I hope not, dude. I caught a mouthful, dog.
well, straight milk has to be like pasteurized. Then.
I didn't think it all the way through, obviously.
And it seemed like everyone there was pretty chill with that happening.
Yeah, everyone's like, yeah, do it, do it.
So the question is, do we care about Charles Hatch?
Okay, I got to see. Hold on.
Or
No, what?
What does it say?
Oh, gosh. Raw milk, milk that comes straight from the cow or goat without being pasteurized, has been effectively banned in many states because the Food and Drug Administration says it presents a health threat. Frick!
yo, it's been like 4 days, so
So you probably chill.
you're probably all right because it was a tiny bit. But I know when my girlfriend's family milk the goats, all they have to do is wait 24 hours. So they put it in the jar, put it in the fridge. They wait 24 hours. They actually strain it first to get like hairs out and whatnot, or whatever little bits, itty bitties from the titties, and yeah, they strain it. They put it in a jar and they put it in the fridge 24 hours, and then it's good to drink. They don't have to do anything
It's
else to it.
chill.
Yeah, it like pasteurizes itself, but you have to give it time to do so.
Yeah, you probably good, dude.
You did not give it time.
Guys, I'm scared now.
Dude, you're going to be okay. It's been 4 days.
yeah, dude.
I'm just kidding. As I'm reading on to, there's like a large group of people who are saying, like,
That's
no,
some
it's
bullshit.
actually super beneficial.
Yeah.
Because when you pasteurize it, you like get rid of a lot of the
Bacteria
health
that's
parts.
healthy.
Yeah. But I don't know. Who knows? There's also people out there who believe the world's flat. So whatever. We started talking about it last week at the very start of the last week's
And then
episode. And then
never
we
said
never
anything
talked
about
about
it?
it. But we went up to Park City. A friend of ours has a spot up there. So we went and stayed there. It was awesome. It was beautiful. It was nice just to get out, get away from, every day. We go and we set up a fire pit and we start our fire and we sit down. We're about to have some s'mores. And as we're sitting there, one of our friends goes, what is that? And points to the sky. And all of us turn and look at the sky to witness something I could not explain.
The best way for me to explain it is you've seen like a laser pointer go through like smoke
Yeah. Yep.
and you can see like the line of the laser. It looked like that way high up in the sky, like as far as like almost the stars. And it was like a straight line and it was moving in the sky
In unison.
in unison.
Yeah, it was.
And it was
trippy.
the weirdest thing I've never seen anything like that. Like
Someone in our group was like, what is that? What is that?
That was Janelle,
What is
yeah.
that? And just kept saying that. And I was like,
we all turned
don't
around.
know.
And
We
everyone
like tried
was
to explain it, like a plane. No, you would have seen
It's
the
not-
blinking red lights.
yeah, it wasn't a plane.
like a meteor.
It wasn't. It was
Nope.
moving too slowly
Too
to be a shooting
slowly,
star or
and it-
meteor.
Yep. And it was just in a straight line. Yeah, it was trippy.
Yeah, we saw it for maybe like 10, 15 seconds
uh-huh.
until it disappeared behind like the buildings we were by. So we had no idea what it was.
Then all of us are like, so we just saw a UFO.
It really, at the time, it was an unidentified flying object.
Yep.
And then we kind of forgot about it after eating Reese's s'mores.
Yeah, life
having a
hack.
good
If you're
night.
not having s'mores with Reese's peanut butter cups, then
Specifically eggs, Reese's eggs.
tis the season.
A
But yeah, get up, get your game up. And then we finish our like trip and we go home. And then DJ's girlfriend sends us an article.
In our group chat, and it's Elon Musk, who, if you don't know, isn't just the head of Tesla. He owns a separate entity called SpaceX, which is like a privatized NASA almost. But it was his satellites that he sent into space.
Called Starlink.
Yeah. So you can search it online, and I don't know what it was for, but that's what we saw.
Yeah.
The article was saying that on this night at this time, if you look up and you're in Salt Lake City or whatever, you should be able to see Starlink satellites. And so that's what we saw. But we didn't know for a few days. It was the craziest thing.
Bro, Elon, Warner brother, dude.
Yeah, for real. Last time above LA, this time freaking everyone in Utah.
For real, though. Dude, thanks for your stories tonight. I had fun.
Yeah, no, it was a fun ep.
Sometimes it's fun when we're like all around the world.
Yeah.
And it's like sometimes we have like we're all on the same theme, and then sometimes it's all over the place. But I love both.
So basically, we love everything.
Yeah. But anyway, thanks for listening out there, everyone. Thanks for supporting any of our patrons, or even if you just like, listen, rate, review. It all goes a long way. If you want to help us, download our episodes or subscribe on YouTube or become a patron, and you get all the extra bonus content. All right. Submitted for the approval of the 3 a.m. Society. I close this night and say, bye, love you, be safe.
Be careful out there.
Trust your gut. Watch your back.
Every time. Freaking stubborn ass thing, dude. All right, let's close. Good job, boys.
Hey, thank you so much for tuning into this episode of 3 a.m. If you want to support us, visit our Patreon, where patrons have access to exclusive content. If you're not able to support us monetarily, don't worry. This episode is on us. You can still rate and review us on whatever platform you listen to us on. It really does go a long way. You can also follow us on social media. Our handle everywhere, including Patreon, is the 3 a.m. pod. Finally, do you have any scary stories? If so, submit them to our website, the3ampodcast.com. We love any audio or visual aids that can help bring your stories to life. So file uploads are welcome with your written submissions. We're anxious and excited to hear from you.